Oh God. Hello
So,
everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Game Drain. With me, Matt Likes Games. I've got Ham Solo here, Hard Days Mike, and Twan. Twan, we're
oh,
starting with you this time,
oh
bud. How are
shit.
you been doing? What have you been playing? What are you up to?
I've been doing pretty good. I played a few games actually. I finally finished Final Fantasy 16. Pretty good game. Dragged like it was.
Mid.
I mean, it kind of overstayed its welcome a little bit at the end, but at the
There
end,
you go.
I was like, good game. I played the game. I was like, I enjoyed it for what it was. And then right after that, I played a game called Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, which is basically a spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio. It just released I think like a week ago, and I already beat it. It was like 8 hours long. It's definitely worth playing, and that game
It
was
looks like a cool
fantastic.
game. All the
Oh yeah,
grinding and wall
yeah.
riding and stuff. It looks pretty
hmm
cool.
It looks it is fantastic because I literally just played the whole thing. It's got actually got a pretty good story. It's got a nice little plot twist at the end too, and yeah, it's
Whoa.
just Jet Set Radio. You got like jetpacks as well, so you increase mobility, which is really nice. And yeah, it's just a really good game. And then now after that, I'm playing Armor Core 6, and that game is phenomenal. Like it's got a nice bit of challenge to it, but it's not like insanely hard like it is, let's say, for like a Dark Souls game or something. It's a lot more forgiving because you could just kind of retry where you kind of left off, especially if you're doing like a boss fight. You could just redo it, and then you can even change how your mech is, so you could customize it to more suit that fight. For example, you could have like a guy that's a lot more faster, nimble, or you could have a guy that's a lot more tankier with bigger guns and shit. So it's really, I like the customize build. I like the how you can customize things a lot, to suit the situation, which is really nice.
What game?
But
Sorry.
yeah, Armor Core 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic game. But yeah, I'm loving that so far. I'm just playing that until, Starfield comes around, and hopefully it's not mid. So I'm praying. I'm praying.
I
So
mean,
Mike,
don't
Mike,
think we
you're
got to
up.
worry about it for right now.
I'm up. Okay, I'm up.
Yeah, you're
Well, honestly, I've just
Yeah,
been
you're up,
really
Mike.
I'm
up.
okay. I've been mostly waiting for Starfield at this point. I'm playing Armored Core 6. It's fantastic. The gameplay is great.
Mhm.
It
Very
feels
fast,
great
yeah.
to play. It's a great port.
Very well
Yada
optimized
yada.
as well. Very,
It's
very well
actually, yeah,
optimized.
I mean
Yeah.
on PC at least there's like this weird issue where sometimes like I'll be fighting a boss and it'll go do its super move, and the part of that super move is like, I guess, subtracting 40 FPS from my average, and then the game like kind of like stutters and is weird, but it is what it is. It's a great game though. I love the customization. It has a great like art direction. I'm really loving it right now. I haven't really played any in the last few days. I've just been burnt out from work. Um, but honestly, yeah, it's fantastic. I have been playing this indie first-person shooter as Ham was watching me play it the other day. It's fantastic. The name of the game is called Sprawl. It is of course, as you guys know about me, a boomer shooter, first-person shooter type game. A bit more modern than the average boomer shooter. It kind of has its own smart gameplay design, like Doom Eternal, like the importance on weak points, resource management. Maybe resource management not as much, but it's there to a degree because killing enemies in certain ways will get you ammo, and your time slowing down. I think they call it endurance in the game. I'm not 100% sure. But it's really, really fun. I think it's still on sale for it's like a launch day, launch. You know how they do like launch week price and it's like $1 or $2 off. Um, it's a really fun game though. I'm adoring my time with it. Uh, I think it's real for the price, especially how they said they're going to keep us adding free content to the game. I think it's an absolute steal for that price. I'm not even done with it. I gotta go back to even playing that as well because once again, I'm just in Starfield mode. Like, everything I've heard about that game is just
Yeah, I was waiting for that game.
like everything on Twitter that we've just seen is like insane. Like, we'll get into the controversy later, I guess, quote unquote
Yeah.
controversy with Starfield, I guess. Uh, but I'm having I'm having blast Starfield. I'm having a good time playing with what I have currently before Starfield. Before Starfield, yeah, I'm reviewing Starfield, guys. No,
Yeah.
but I can't
Still
wait.
waiting for my code.
Yeah,
It'll be here. It'll be here any day. Don't worry about it.
Could you imagine if you got it like an hour before like the pre-orders? Like,
Hey, dude,
before that
hey, if
early
I get it,
access.
I get it. That's all I know.
yeah, right. That's a good point.
Did you sign up for it?
I did, but I'm not gonna get. I'm not getting that thing.
But like, I just can't wait for Starfield. Well, I guess we'll talk about the drama stuff about the planetary bullshit later and all the fake crap people are upset about because I just want to make fun of them a little bit. I enjoy that. So yeah, that's all I'm doing. I'm just waiting, and I'm watching Matt play a million different games because I just can't focus on anything.
I thought you were gonna say, watch me play a game right now. I was like, what the fuck?
No.
All right. Ham, you're up next, bud. What have you been up to? What have you been playing? What are you doing?
Go to somebody else. I gotta do something real quick. I'll be right back.
Well, then I'm going to myself.
Go to
Going to
somebody else.
myself. Right?
Yeah, okay.
Actually, unless Twan, you want to go again? No, I'm kidding. We're gonna go. Yeah. But I'm pretty much the same as Mike. I'm just waiting for Starfield. I've been playing a lot of Oblivion. That's
been fun to watch you play. That's been a lot of fun to watch you play.
Yeah, that game is very, very fun. I kind of wish I started playing it earlier in the summer so I could have beat it before Oblivion, because I'm not beating it. Not before Oblivion, before Starfield, because I'm not beating it before Starfield right now. But I'm playing it and it's super fun. That's really what I've been playing. What else?
Have you seen Oblivion before? Or is it just a replay?
I've played Oblivion before. Like, I've booted it up and played it before, but I've never played through it.
Oh, interesting.
So this would be my first playthrough of it. And I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna get that done before Starfield. So
that lock-picking minigame sucks.
Yeah, the lock-picking in Oblivion
I hated it as a kid. I hate it as an adult. I hate the fact they brought it back for Elder Scrolls Online. That shit stinks.
I didn't even know it was an Elder Scrolls Online, but that makes
Yeah.
me not want to play that game, honestly.
It's bad.
But yeah, Oblivion. God, what else? Fallout 3 and Skate.
Yeah.
Skate
Skate's
1,
been
2,
fun.
and 3.
That's been so fun to watch you.
Yeah,
that's
those
the
games,
awful ways you basically die in that game.
It's pretty it's pretty gruesome.
Yeah.
It's really gruesome. But yeah, that's really what I've been playing. Mostly just stuff to get behind till Starfield, honestly. And we're so fucking close, and it's gonna be fantastic.
To play games. Like, it's hard to play games because I just have Starfield on the mind like 24/7. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just like.
That is the issue I'm currently running into. The only thing I can really play for an hour at a time is like a Bethesda game, and even then, I just want Starfield.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, that's what I've been doing. What about you, Ham? What have you been playing, bud?
Man, I've been reaching back into roots as of lately and playing some old school game.
Nice.
So I've been playing because I forget sometimes that like Saturn has a battery and like and like that Saturn? I can right that it
you gotta
can
replace that thing.
Saves on it.
Yeah, you get the calendar screen of death. You know where all your saves are lost.
You gotta replace the thing, or Jesus.
Well, the thing is, there's a battery on the back of the Saturn. You have to replace that.
Yeah, it's just like a watch battery, pretty much.
But it's really easy to replace. You just pop it off and pop a new one in. Like, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, it takes. Yeah, like I mean, you can pop a battery in quicker than you can throw an SSD in your PS5. I'll tell you that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, thank God they made it easy, because if it was hard, then that would have been a really pain in the ass. Having to open up your
console, especially back then. Hard back then is a whole different type of hard.
Yeah.
100%. But yeah, I've been playing some like centering boxing because I've been really enjoying that game and getting pissed at it. Let's see. Still been playing a little bit of Outlaw Volleyball on my original Xbox because it's hilarious and there's a lot of jiggle physics and I don't mind.
No.
But anyways,
the best volleyball game is probably Beach Spikers on GameCube. That's probably my favorite volleyball game.
What game? What's it called?
It's called Beach Spikers. It's on the GameCube.
I thought you said Beach Bikers. I'm like, what?
Beach Spikers.
speaking
really good.
speaking of bikers, I've been playing some old school Road Rash 3D for the original PlayStation.
Nice.
Game is freaking nuts because they did as hard as they could to bring 3D to Road Rash with like you have these different type of bikers that are on and like it's just like the feeling and everything that the game tries to give off is just like more realistic, like it's supposed to be like the most realistic version of them up to that point. And they have like pretty much like real vehicles in there, like driving around that you gotta not hit, obviously. But the combat's pretty nuts in that game. The talking's pretty nuts.
Are you talking about
Man,
the 3DO port on the PS1? Or
no,
Road Rash?
no,
Oh, there was like another.
no.
Was there another Road Rash like game that was just made for PS1 or?
Yeah, this one is different. It's newer.
Okay.
So it was like it is not the one with like sound guard
Okay.
and
Oh, it's
stuff
like
like
Road
that.
Rash
All right.
3D or something, or Road
It's
Rash
literally
like
called Road Rash. It's literally called Road Rash 3D.
Okay.
And it
that
looks
makes sense.
completely different. If you look it up, you'll be like, "Oh shit."
Oh yeah,
this
yeah. I
is
see what you're talking about. Yeah.
different. Like,
Yeah, I didn't know. I was just
like
aware
it's
of
way
like,
different.
yeah, I was just aware of like the Genesis ones and the 3DO one, because I know they ported that one over to like PS1 and Saturn.
It reminds me a little bit of like I think there was this original Xbox game called like Speed Kings or something like that. It was like a motorcycle game where it was supposed to be kind of like a spiritual successor to Road Rash, but it and I think it was a spiritual successor to this type of Road Rash because it was like kind of weird. But this one, like you even have like the bikes with the side like side person or whatever you call it. I forgot what they're called. But anyways, game's
Sidecar?
fantastic. Sidecar, thank you.
Yeah.
For the most part though, I'm very similar to you guys. Just been waiting for Starfield. Just meandering around. Just like if you could imagine somebody like that doesn't have anything to do, twiddling their thumbs at the park bench. That's kind of how I am right now.
Yeah.
I'm watching random anime, playing random games, and
Yeah.
waiting to, leave Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, it feels like everything I'm doing is just trying to just waste time to get to Starfield. That's what it feels like right now. Everything I'm doing.
I took a few days off from work because I had holiday pay or vacation pay, and apparently Upper Brass found out that I was taking it off because for Starfield, and they were pissed. I'm like, why does it matter why I'm taking this shit off? I work
Right.
my ass off. This is my vacation hours. Kiss my ass. Like,
Exactly.
like fuck you. I don't give a fuck.
Tell
Work
'em
my
to-
goddamn.
Tell him to cope.
It's like I don't know,
Open
man.
sea.
I just thought that was funny. I was like, you know what? Now I feel real happy I took this goddamn days off. Like, now I'm damn
There you
happy.
go.
I didn't
There
fucking,
you go, bud.
like, I didn't throw a conniption fit when everyone else has their week-long vacations. You guys can survive a few
Put them
days.
in their place. But
Right?
yeah, I mean, we might as well start the show with Starfield because there's a little bit of news to come out over the past week, and I'm sure there will be even more news leading up to early access and beyond, honestly. But I mean, have you guys been on Twitter recently, like, and just seen
Unfortunately.
Yeah, about to say,
the
unfortunately.
just
Yeah.
not even like any one thing in particular, but just the general discourse around Starfield?
It's awful.
It's
People are
pretty.
trying so hard to make this game look bad. Like just the simplest things out of context, just to make it look like
Yes.
the worst game of all time. You know,
Like,
it's just
I saw a dude on a video. I think I shared it in our group chat. Maybe not. I might quote retweeted it. But like this guy was saying that Destiny 2 and No Man's Sky did what Starfield is trying to do first. And I thought that was absolutely fucking insane.
That's actually like that video has been around for like a month, but like it's recirculated.
Yeah.
Yeah, that has been a while.
That dude, I don't get it. I don't know. Like, I don't know what Destiny 2 did before Star. I guess like just having planets in the game, maybe. I don't know. In which case, tons of games have had Mass Effect did it before Destiny. If we're gonna do that, but I don't know. People are out of their minds, and then also the more recent topic or talking point about Starfield has actually been the boundaries
Oh my
of
god.
Starfield, which was like very relevant today apparently, and thankfully I didn't see too much of it, but I did unfortunately see it. And what's that guy's name who was going back and forth with fanboys like Tom?
Warren, not Warren
Tom
Henderson.
Henderson.
Tom Henderson, yes.
Man, I feel like I need to like mute myself right now because I've been purposely off of Twitter for the most part, other than just like posting stuff about my channel or really like I haven't been getting into any like. There's been things that I like and whatnot, but like if there's Starfield and like anybody starts talking about like what you could do in the game, I like just literally stop that sentence. Like stop
Okay.
Wanna
that
mute yourself for a
that
few
word
minutes?
in the sentence
Mhm.
and just what's going on?
No, I said, do you want to mute yourself for a few minutes? Then I don't know if you want us to talk about it or not.
We can.
Well, I mean, I mean, probably will if you guys are gonna like spoil stuff
There's
that I don't
nothing
know
really
about
to
the game
spoil.
yet.
Yeah, because I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because you guys can definitely talk about it. I'll just hit me
You gonna
back up
deafen
on
yourself?
Twitter real quick and let me just message me back on Twitter when you guys are done because I don't want to know anything about this game like really. And I've been like doing my
completely valid.
damnedest to like I've been doing my damnedest to just like kind of just oh, this looks like they're kind of talking about something I don't know about yet. And I feel like I've heard everything that I want.
Okay, I'll shoot you a message. I'll make sure I have Twitter open.
Sure. All right.
No, I don't think it's gonna be too long.
Yeah.
No.
So
We're talking about it.
basically,
Alright.
basically, all right. Who wants to get into it here? Who wants to do it?
Go ahead.
Oh,
Go
so
ahead.
we're talking about the boundary stuff, correct?
Yeah,
Read
the
it up.
boundary thing.
Read it off, Mike.
So basically, it's been confirmed that while you can technically travel an entire planet in Starfield, there are boundaries per zone, meaning you will eventually reach the end of how much you can travel in one given spot of that
one
planet.
landing. Yeah, one like landing.
And
spot.
an event originally how that was originally first portrayed to us by a leaker, and they actually, funny enough, left everything out saying how you can travel the rest of the planet. Apparently how it works is that you just land somewhere else on the planet that will then generate the rest of the planet, and you can actually run up to that same exact boundary and like see where you originally couldn't pass before. But for some reason on Twitter we have people saying, oh my god, all kinds of cool and crazy things. I've been seeing people saying that people don't want to admit it, that we don't that we want No Man's Sky 2.0 and we should be disappointed about this, even though when people said this is just a No Man's Sky game, Xbox fans were like, for the love of God, please don't be a No Man's Sky game, because if we wanted No Man's Sky, we'd have No Man's Sky. We just go buy No Man's Sky. We don't want No Man's Sky.
Or
We
play
want
it
the
on Game
best of
Pass.
games. Or play it,
It's
yeah,
literally
exactly,
on Game
yeah.
Pass.
Play it on Game Pass. I just think it's a completely lame. It's a fake problem that these people are creating. You can still travel an entire planet. You just land in different sections of the planet. It's literally, it's like the same as anything as like towns and cities in Skyrim or any other Elder Scrolls or Bethesda game you've played. It is a fake problem, a fake thing to be angry about. And I genuinely think it is bullshit that people are even. It's just fake. It's just a fake outrage. It's
from
fake
what I've
outrage.
heard, from what I've heard, on average, it's like you have to walk for like 40 straight minutes to even reach this boundary.
Yep.
So most people, I wouldn't be surprised if some people reviewing the game didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah,
because they
Because
probably
like
just never even tried doing it. You know.
because that's also the thing where it's like apparently it tries to generate POIs per like places of interest per like where you are. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have it generating like that. I mean, could they have done something in real time? I don't know. I'm not a developer. Apparently, like this is way more in depth than a normal randomized random generation. How about that? This is a little bit more in depth than that, like how they explained it during their E3 presentation. This I just think it's a fake outrage that we had. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't see the legitimacy in any of the complaints of the fact that you have to reload in a different part of the planet. What do you guys think? I want your take on it.
Yeah, because some people are making a whole big deal about the load screens in general. So like, oh, there's all these load screens. Like, bro, there's like 2 seconds. Like, can you not? Are you not able to handle that? Like,
Yeah,
I remember there's this one part where the guy's climbing up the ladder. He's like, oh, there's a loading screen for the ladder. I'm like, I'm thinking like the animation of him climbing up the ladder would probably take longer than the loading screen.
yeah,
That's what I'm thinking.
yeah,
So like,
probably.
it's
Honestly,
like,
knowing
it's like,
Bethesda, probably. Like,
yeah. So
Also,
like,
like,
yeah,
I mean,
let's go, man.
when I play Oblivion, when I play any game from Bethesda, like I just think of Oblivion because that's what I've been playing recently. But a ladder, an Oblivion, in a tower, I go on the ladder, and it gives me a load screen, and I'm on a hard drive. That load screen loads in like a second,
yeah,
maybe a second. Let alone something that's optimized to take advantage of actually fast storage. I mean, it's not an issue. Also, the game's too damn big to be like, oh, I can't believe there's load screens in this game. What are you high?
yeah. Like,
What's wrong with you?
it's like there are thousands. How many? Like 1,000 planets. They said. I don't know how much the exact total is.
1,000.
You can technically traverse an entire. This isn't the same type of random generation or whatever the word is that No Man's Sky is, and that's not shit talking or belittling whatever No Man's Sky is. That's a great game now. That is a
Yeah.
very, 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 very
down
good
with
game.
it.
They have
Very
recognized
complete.
their vision, and that's all that matters. In my opinion, this is not
Yep.
shit talking No Man's Sky because I don't want Starfield to be a better version of No
Yeah,
Man's
they're
Sky.
two different
Like
games. They're
they're
going for
completely
different. Yeah, they're going for
yeah,
different objectives. It's
exactly
like,
two completely different objectives, and I just think it's disingenuous for people to I don't know, and we all know it's mostly fanboy war stuff. It's mostly people like, why aren't you demanding better? It's because for the most part, no one gives a fuck about this.
oh no,
Like
not at all.
it's when there's like it's not I don't know. It's I'm expecting a Bethesda RPG in space. I wasn't expecting No Man's Sky. I wasn't expecting Star Citizen. I wasn't expecting Elite and Dangerous 2. I think is that it? Is that the other
Elite Dangerous. Yeah, you're
Elite?
basically
Yeah.
right.
I'm not expecting that. I'm expecting Bethesda grand
Yeah.
space that takes place in space.
That's
And
it.
maybe my standards aren't high enough. I don't know, but all I know is what they did show us looks exactly what I want from that
Yeah,
adventure.
it looks like a Bethesda game. It looks like a Bethesda game through and through.
Yep.
Exactly.
But it's funny
100%.
because, like, yeah, like you said, No Man's Sky is trying to. No Man's Sky is a space exploration game, right? That's what it is. Starfield is an RPG. That's what that's supposed to be, right? Two completely different things.
That's
So-
the thing. They're completely different things, and no one's saying Starfield couldn't do this, but
Yeah.
I think the drama around it is very disingenuous. I think a lot of the commentary around this game is, especially when it comes in the extreme toxicity and downplaying what it could be and the leaked good things we've heard from people, yada yada. It's really unfortunate, but it's par for the course with games these days.
Mhm.
I
So
agree.
anything else on this before I let Ham know we're done?
I just agree. I don't have much to say because I just don't take too much stock in this because it's all fanboys and it's all people
Mhm.
trying to. It's the same way that you'll have Xbox fanboys whenever Spider-Man comes out trying to tell people why they shouldn't enjoy it. Both sides do it,
Well, there
and
actually
it's
is one thing I wanted to bring up as well.
what's that?
So they've been bringing up this planet, right? and people saying, "Oh, it's so barren and empty." It's like, yeah, that's the point. You don't on all planets have life on them, right?
Yeah,
Some of them
like-
are going
Yeah.
to be barren, right? And people are using this as like, "Oh, it's so empty. This is like there's nothing to do here." It's like, yeah, that's the point, you know. And
that's
they're-
literally that's the reason why, like Matt said before the show, I'm not really interested in a lot of these people's opinions on anything.
Yeah,
And it is what it is. All right.
1000% agree.
Should I
Let's
let
get
him know?
Yeah, let's get Ham back in here.
all right. You text him through Twitter.
Yeah, I just sent him a DM.
Yeah, send him a message to Twitter. But while we're waiting for Ham to get back in here, we can actually continue talking about Starfield. Did you see that Starfield's budget is 200 million?
Yeah, that is
And
actually
500
like
people apparently as well.
That's
what
a lot
I
of money.
find- It is 200 million.
That's a
Hey,
lot of money. That's definitely a
That is
good amount
a
of money.
Did Ham come
significant
back?
amount of money.
Ham,
Yeah,
are
I
you-
just heard Ham.
Oh, you heard? Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Sorry. I don't have my read receipts on, so I didn't know if you saw that. But yeah, and how many? You know, what's wild. Apparently, that's like obviously it's not the most expensive in the industry, but
No.
it's like it's kind of crazy
Red
that
Dead
games
2
that
holds
with
that
less
title.
scope in a sense, is not downplaying a lot of these games, but when you think about it, like linear games that cost more than this game, and it's
Yep,
kind of wild to think about.
definitely. Because that was my reaction. Was
That's it.
yeah, I was like, I saw 200 million. I'm like, wow, that's not a lot. I mean, it
Right?
is, but it's like that's not
It's
that's not a lot.
for
That's-
1,000 planets.
That's not much for like the biggest game Bethesda's ever made. But yeah, man, I mean, everything we hear about it, it sounds like that's all they needed, and they accomplished quite a bit. But yeah, Ham, you're back, right?
No, he's definitely back.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
here.
okay.
What do you think when you heard 200 million? What was your instant reaction for the budget for this game?
I still feel like Halo was they spent more on Halo, right?
Well, the rumor, of course, was 500 million,
Fucking
which is
insane.
nuts
Which
if
is
that's true.
insane.
Which is fucking silly if that's true.
So like,
But
I
then
mean, there's
again,
that and
I was gonna say real quick, but then again, I guess they did make an entire new engine, so I'm sure if that's true, most of that probably went to that.
Yeah.
Whereas Starfield
point.
already had the engine. But yeah, keep going.
I wonder, like, it just kind of made me think of other games, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like that's mostly what I kind of thought about. I started to wonder, like, how many other games, like it says here, like I looked up how much did they spend to make Forspoken. That was 100 million. They spent
Damn.
twice as much
Really?
as they
Damn.
spent. Yeah.
Man, just for it to turn out the way it did. it's
That's a
unfortunate.
really big payoff they got.
Yeah. God
So,
damn.
so I mean, but to think about it like that, like they spent double the amount on this than they did Forspoken, and that's just in the game being developed. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of cake, and that's a big bet to take. But I mean, Bethesda games breathe differently but
Mhm.
and what's kind of funny is I was about to say Bethesda breathes differently than Square Enix, but then you got to remember Square Enix has a lot of history,
They do.
and like by this time they should be like that.
Yeah.
A Forspoken should actually be something like the game looks fun to me.
Yeah,
And
it
all,
does.
but like, and I think I'll end up buying it at some point and playing it because it looks good enough for me to be like that. But for it to be like $70 and like I played the demo of it and wasn't like
Wow.
completely immersed into the game,
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, eh. Like,
That
this
demo
is-
had a lot of
this is pretty
combat mechanisms.
but
Taken. That shit was
Like-
overwhelming. in my opinion.
like I was having fun playing the game, but I was just kind of like I don't know if I'm like dying to like
Spent 70.
I was
Mhm.
already not dying to buy it, and that didn't
Help
help.
at all. Yeah.
No, it didn't.
Exactly. It just didn't feel, I guess. And see the difference between this and Forspoken. I mean, there's a million differences, right? But
Yeah.
like the number one thing about this game that's different is just like the ambition. I feel like the ambition from Bethesda with this title is just in a whole nother galaxy, literally. Like, and in a whole
Yes.
nother galaxy compared to what
Mhm.
compared to what Square
Yeah.
Enix was trying
No
to
pun
do with
intended.
Forspoken. Like Forspoken, I don't think it was like a horrible idea of a game, but I feel like to spend that much money and have the name behind you of Square Enix, Square Soft,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it, all of that history in you spend that much money and do what other games have done. And it's just kind of like, man, it's just not that exciting. Doesn't get your
Yeah. It's like
juices,
been there, done that,
doesn't
right?
get your
Yeah.
juices flowing, Like it's like Spider-Man in the middle of the fucking woods.
Yeah.
It's like
And your
kind
character
of,
don't shut up.
like the way your story kind of unfolds. It's like serious but can be joking sometimes. It feels like they really like leaned in to Sony and asked them a lot of questions about how they made their games and then tried to make something like it in a Square Enix kind of manner. And it like I said, looks fun. It just doesn't look ambitious or very creative. And that and for a and I can't stress this enough, for a company that's been around as long as they have been, you just expect them to go where nobody else may want to. And that's where some of these companies are doing right now with some of these games, like Baldur's Gate Larian, way smaller studio. They went way outside of their of what I mean. Obviously, they've done Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, but like they put
Actually,
a
didn't
new
they
spin
not
to
do
make
one
it.
and two? Wasn't like actually a different studio handle one and two?
It might have
I don't
been.
know.
It
Yeah,
might
I'm
have
pretty sure
It
been.
might have been. I mean,
Yeah,
it's been
I'm
around
pretty
for
sure.
The
so
IP's
long
been
that I
around
don't
for
even
so
know.
long.
Yeah.
You're not like because they. Sorry, go on.
But you see kind of what I'm saying with the
No,
IP,
absolutely.
like that fooled me. Like I could have swore it was somebody else, but here's another one that did the same exact thing. Dead Island.
Yeah.
Yep. Dead
Dead Island is
example.
another one where it's just like you see that game launch and you're like, how in the hell did they take that IP to that level?
Right.
And
Yeah.
and they didn't do the last Dead Island, am I right?
Yeah.
Nope.
Nope, you're right. They didn't.
That went
In
through
fact, that got
Nope, you're right.
tossed
5
around.
studios.
Exactly.
That game went through the most development hell I've ever seen. You're completely right, Ham. I didn't even consider them, but they made a fucking banger with
They
Dying Light, Dead Island 2. I keep doing that. God help me.
But like the flesh system really bumped that game up.
Yeah.
The Baldur's Gate, they're they're doing the whole thing with the RPG elements that are just like way outside and way more choices and whatnot. Dead Space taken on by by a different developer to put all of the spaceships to make it attachable to get from one end to the other without all this jargon in between. Like these devs out here that are making it and making like a splash are taking not only new stuff seriously, but also some of the old stuff and making it new again the right way. And
Very well said.
I felt like Square Enix did the opposite. They just did what others were doing and didn't really build off of it. They just took a bunch of stuff and put it into a box and said, "This is a game."
Yeah. It's a really good point, actually, because you say Forspoken's 100 million. I be interested to find out what Dead Island 2's is. Or at the very least, I'm sure it probably cost a lot to go between 5 different studios, but I'm interested to see what the budget was for the studio that shipped Dead Island 2.
Yeah.
Because
That's
Like
a
so many
great-
builds of that game where they built this and then
Yeah,
tossed it, built another
so,
one,
like,
tossed it.
just to say real quick with that studio, they actually when they got the final build from I can't what's the actually this was it not Jaeger, was they the one that did the first one? I honestly can't remember the one that did the second. I feel bad because I loved it.
The one that did the first one is, I'm pretty sure it was Jaeger's, the people who did Spec Ops.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but for Dead Island 2, I feel so bad because they did such a phenomenal job. But when they got the builds for Dead Island 2, before it, they're like, all right, let's see if we can salvage any of this. And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Wait, no,
And
I'm sorry. Ones that did the first one was Techland. Jaeger was handed development of Dead Island 2.
Okay, yeah, they were handed
And-
it. Okay, yeah,
yeah.
okay, yeah.
And it was
Sorry
passed
about
off
that.
from them.
My brain is just who's the one that did? Do you have any idea who did Dead Island 2 then?
I'll look it up. Keep talking.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like they like Ham said, it's kind of like these studios that you aren't exactly expecting. I mean, just kind of picking up the ball, just sprinting. They're going for it. And
Yep.
yeah,
Mhm.
I absolutely agree with that. Good shit.
It's Dam Buster Studios, and shout out to them because they took something that probably would have been very easy to just
Are you talking about
literally
Dead Island.
Dead Island
Yeah.
2.
That's it.
They took something that would probably have been very easy to just make a sequel, just rip the gameplay from the first one and call it a day, but instead they really innovated on that game.
Mhm.
Really innovated on that game. So they deserve a lot of credit for that. But that's a really good point, actually, Am. And yeah, I mean, you Forspoken at 100 million. I completely forgot that. Compared to Starfield at 200 million, compared to you hear Halo 500 million. Compared to
Is
what
that
you hear,
true? Is that confirmed?
I would imagine it's
No.
true just because of the engine. If it weren't for them making a new engine, I would say that's
Force
bullshit.
engine.
Yeah, because I really wonder if they were going to make that engine a proprietary thing for all of Microsoft Studios. Because I could imagine that was going to be a very, and then it just we're like, oh no.
Yeah.
But who knows? Who knows?
See.
I mean,
We
there's
will
a Creation
see.
Engine 2 technically a new engine, but I mean that's not really.
No, it's not a new engine. It's just an iteration.
Yeah, it's just a not.
It's an old engine with new stuff on it.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, I mean, wait, does anyone else have anything to say about the 200 million?
No.
Before we move on, Twan, did you even talk about it?
I don't know. Did I talk about it? I mean, yeah, because they also said they had 500 people working on it as well, right?
Which is
Long
nuts
section
when you
from
think
that,
about the scope
right.
of the game.
Yeah, because I mean, they could probably have a lot of people working on just models for aliens and all that kind of shit. So I mean, you need a lot of people working on it when you're making the game
Yeah.
that big, right? Just
Definitely.
different
You know what
divisions
I thought
just
was
doing
nutty?
shit. What?
Go ahead.
I thought it was nutty hearing that, when you're on the outside looking in, you think everybody within a studio kind of knows what's going on with the game.
Oh yeah.
But what we ended up finding out was, there are things like people that are very involved in the game won't figure out a certain part of the game until they play it themselves,
Mm-hmm.
which is wild. So
It's interesting.
you could ask a game dev about a game and they don't even know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
which is wild to think about. Like they're working on that game, but they don't know this.
That's fucking
It is
funny.
pretty nuts to think about that. I remember, and to that point, I remember, pretty sure it was last week, where I forget his name. He worked on Starfield, and he's there now. I forget his name. Emilio Pagliarolio.
That's
think-
the best.
Yeah, Emilio Estevez. But he was saying that he experiencing the story for the first time, and he was on the project the whole time. So he was at the studio as this was being made the whole time. And he said experiencing the story for the first time was so surprising to him that he considers himself atheist and he thinks the story made him agnostic. Which was wild to hear where like he's helping to create this game, and he has a very big, I forget what his role is, but he has a pretty high up role on the game. And like it was only when he experienced the story for the first time he kind of understood, holy shit, that's a lot better than I expected.
We're talking about the Starfield story.
Yeah, Starfield.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
God damn.
Dude, I'm gonna see if I can find the article, and I'll put it in the group chat. I'll actually bring it up if I can find it on the screen. But yeah, he was talking. It's like, I've been an atheist forever, and just playing the story now makes me lean very agnostic. And I was
That's
just,
wild.
yeah, I was like kind of shocked to hear that. But yeah, that's to Ham's point where it's like, I guess there's like developers at studios who like they work on these projects all the time, but they're so focused on doing
For
the one thing that,
years.
yeah, for doing the one thing that they're doing, that they don't
Just
even really get
making
to see the,
guns, you know,
yeah,
just
they
making
don't,
guns, and that's it.
exactly. They just don't get to see the actual big picture or the finished product until you get to see it. And so it's kind of awesome to think about when we play Starfield, there will be people at that studio who are also playing it for the first time with us, which is kind of nuts to think about. But yeah, that's actually really awesome. I can't find that story though. Damn it! I'm gonna keep looking
That's
for it.
about it.
No, I definitely, because it was on Twitter. Pretty sure I liked it too. I'll find it. But yeah, continuing on with Starfield talk. Oh yeah, this one was awesome. Ham, did you hear about the modders thing? I don't want to bring that up if you haven't heard about it or anything.
The planet
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
Okay, so modders can create their own planets in this game. And before we get into this, I saw somebody try to
Modding
twist.
things aren't really spoiling to me because that's just things being
User
added to the
created.
game.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
But before we get into this, I saw somebody trying to spin this as a negative, and it was really insane.
I did
where,
too.
Where he was saying, I can't believe Bethesda's talking about modding on their brand new game. Like, why are they already talking about mods? It's like, well, because that's what their games are for. That's entirely what their games are for. Is for modding. And he's like, yeah, but me personally, whenever I hear about a new game, I want to hear about the stuff that developers put in it. Don't tell me about things that other people can do. It's like, then you don't want to play a Bethesda game. Is what that is.
Just crazy to me.
He was like he was really dying on that hill of like, this is bullshit. I can't believe we're settling for I can't believe we're settling for hearing about mods when the game is out this week.
I've seen a lot of takes like that. I saw someone say it was a red flag, and I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind?
It's the opposite of a red flag.
Like, I don't know if you understand the history of Bethesda games and mods, but this is one of the biggest news for the modding community that you can possibly get. I know, like, once again, a lot of these people are just reactionists. They just want to be up in arms about something. They want to be mad about something. They want to be the contrarian about something. They want to be the dickhead, as we like to say, or I like to say. I have much harsher words, but I try to be a little bit reserved. But I'm sorry, this is awesome. This isn't like, oh, modify a planet. You can make your own fucking planet.
Yep.
Like, that's fucking insane. That is so cool. And, like, that is not something we should be like, oh, that's kind of fishy. No, that's dope.
That's awesome.
Like
and these people should be very thrilled about that, because it seems like a lot of people are worried about procedural generation and like Tuan was saying, planets being barren, you know, kind of like in real life sometimes.
Oh yeah,
and
Mars, it's not going to be much there, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, people have this weird thing where they expect, like, they think like Earth is every planet for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm not sure
right.
what that's about, but you know, it's a very self-centered way of looking at things, I guess. But yeah, this takes care of that problem. If you don't want a barren planet, you got mods for it.
Yeah, that too.
Well, exactly. Don't go to it, first of all, but you got mods for it. Make your own shit on the planet. Figure it out. I mean, but that's awesome. Like, that's like that's like news that's so big that I saw even. In fact, the way I saw that news was from, I believe it was discussing film shared that,
Mhm.
which like there's been a few
This.
times throughout
Oh,
this
you're
whole
right.
news.
Sorry.
I was gonna say there's
Go on.
been a few times throughout this whole news cycle for Starfield where you get a sense of how big the game is or how important the game is by the fact that there's not many times where discussing film will share something about a game. Like they'll probably do it for Spider-Man, I would assume,
Yeah,
because Spider-Man's an entertainment
pretty
thing.
big. Yeah,
Exactly. But like something like Starfield, I don't
or
know
like a
that
purely
that's
game IP. You know.
exactly a brand new IP that is a video game. Like discussing film, Culture Crave is talking about it. There's a few other sites, I'm not sites, but like Twitter accounts that are big like that into entertainment that are just dropping news about Starfield. GQ got the interview with Pete Hines for Starfield news, and that was just last week. And that's on GQ.
Hi, Stanley. Sorry, I saw him in chat.
Stanley Francois, what's up, buddy? Appreciate you for stopping by. But yeah, I mean, first of all, how long do you think, or do you think at all, we'll get console mods on Starfield? But if you do, how long do you think it will take? Because we're not getting that at launch. I think it's safe to assume.
Honestly, like
Wait,
that's a good
probably take
question.
months. Probably months. I
No,
assume.
console mods. It's that's the thing is though, right? For me, is how integrated. We know mod support's going to be there on PC Day. Like they know that's what
Yes.
we want. But what I'm curious though, are how quickly are they going to get that? What's that thing called? The community workshop up.
Creation Club.
Creation Club. Thank you.
Creation Club.
How quick is that going to get thrown up? Because I could see it not being that long, honestly. But I could also see it being a while. But at the same
Yeah.
time, though, I wouldn't be surprised if it's up and maybe the download limit is something very small at first, so it's more like quality of life mods you can download. Because let's be real, people are gonna make quality of life mods for things they like or want to change. That's the nature of the beast with any game. But it's definitely gonna happen here because people always do that. Don't be
Ultimate
surprised. Don't be surprised in a year that we're gonna find a Starfield 1.0 ultimate fan made patch. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
Skyrim, like Fallout, like it's like you know what I mean. But like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's there relatively quick. I kind of feel like that's something to like jump on. You know, like that's kind of how I feel about that.
Definitely agree. Ham, are you hyped for
Are you ex-
modding in Starfield?
Yeah, but it's gonna be a big deal on playthrough number 2, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure if you have this on the docket for tonight, but
Well, go ahead. Let's bring it up.
but New Game Plus
Mhm.
and mods on
Mhm.
Run 2.
Okay.
I'm super excited.
Absolutely.
That sounds amazing.
So
Because
they said something about
I mean,
New Game Plus being special, right? And
Yeah.
does
Well,
anyone have any predictions what that could be?
I think it's. I was telling Mike. I think it's tied to the powers. Because you assume powers are in the game because of the thing at the end of the trail,
Yeah.
the direct, Starfield Direct. So you assume powers are in the game. I assume it's tied to powers, and doing a new game plus can get you even better or even different powers. That's my
Yeah.
guess.
I'm so like I'm it sounds silly, but like I'm like so amped to find out what that is, that new game plus is, and like I'm probably not gonna find out for a very long while.
Yeah,
That's the
good while.
crazy part. Like I I can't fucking wait.
Yeah.
It's gonna be crazy. And I can't wait to go on that adventure with all my other buds that play these games and just talk about it. The crazy shit we're gonna find while in space, the crazy things we're gonna find on random generated planets, or not they're not even random. Procedurally, is that the word?
Procedurally, yes.
Procedurally generated planets that are kind of carefully stitched together. Like I'm psyched. Like I want to see some wild shit. I can't wait to go to that. What's that planet, Ham, that you joked about last week that you
the
want your
Pleasure
base
Planet.
to? The pleasure planet. I want to go to the pleasure planet. I want I want to be all about that shit. I'm excited, man.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
really excited.
It's fantastic. But Ham, you were talking about on your second playthrough you're doing mods, and I feel like that's kind of the way. That's the way to do it, honestly. Because once I get through that first playthrough, I'll try to get the achievements I want to get and everything. But once I'm done with that, dude, I'm doing dumb stuff with that game. I'm doing
Right?
really dumb
Right.
stuff with
I'm
that game.
breaking my game. That's what's gonna probably happen. I'm gonna have
100%.
a super duper safe save, and then I'm gonna go and just start busting it down. I'm sure somebody's gonna have like some Star Wars stuff that I need to try to throw in. I'm
Oh yeah.
expecting, since it's Xbox and whatnot, they're gonna have Doom or a Halo ring on there, or just some
There we
just
go.
some pretty crazy stuff that I'm just anticipating. Um, I really want to see what kind of weird shit that people make, like Pleasure Planet 6.0 or something like that.
Yeah. Did somebody just remake Cyberpunk in there?
No.
Honestly, somebody
But
figured that out.
are you guys expecting the mod support on console to be a lot better than it was with like Fallout 4, for example?
I would
Like how
imagine.
in depth do you think that's gonna be on
I would
console though?
imagine so. Fallout 4's mod support was. I feel like Skyrim and Fallout 4 were pretty decent. The problem was
As long as you weren't on
the.
PlayStation.
Well, yeah, if you were on PlayStation, you're kind of screwed because PlayStation hates modding apparently. But the only thing that kind of sucked about it on Xbox was that the limit. Like I believe on Xbox One X it was like 2 gigabytes. I think it's a little bit high. I think it's like 3 gigabytes on the new consoles. But even then, that could definitely be higher. And you look at PC, it's like it's whatever you want it to be. Granted, your PC might not be able to run it, but it's whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's something I think they can
Hopefully
improve
they
on.
yeah.
But I think they
Hopefully they up
nailed
that
it.
cap. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Hopefully they
hopefully.
up the cap to on console. Maybe it could be like 10 gigabytes. That'd be really nice. You
Dude,
know,
if they did 10
on
gigabytes,
console.
that'd be a dumb amount of shit people would be doing. I can't.
But
I feel like that would bring the consoles to their knees. Honestly.
oh, that'd be really nice.
Seriously.
But what I'm thinking for a potential New Game Plus is maybe there's like some plot where you go into like a wormhole or something, and you go back in time, and you got to do the story again. But you have knowledge of all the events that happened, so you have like different dialogue options. Maybe like that'd be pretty cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like a time travel thing. So,
Yeah. That's
so I think some,
that is New
you
Game
go in like
Plus.
a wormhole.
That is New Game
Yeah,
Plus.
you're doing a new game, but it's like you're going back in time and doing it kind of thing. So
Yeah.
Who knows, dude?
That's another thing. I on the second playthrough I get to be because first playthrough I'm gonna be the hero. I'm not gonna take any shit, but I'm gonna be the
Yeah.
hero. Second playthrough,
Yeah.
I might just be an asshole.
Yeah,
I might just
shoot
be a
the first
really
guy you
bad
see.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Like
kind of
whole
my
town.
that's kind of my approach with this game. Is like I love being the good guy, but as soon as any motherfucker gives me lip, they're getting a bullet right in the head. They're
yeah,
done.
they
That's
get
just kind of how
executed.
that's kind of how I play these games, to be honest with you.
That was fun in Mass Effect. I don't know if you played Mass Effect before. That was
I
fun
should
in there.
sometime.
Like, where I was the good guy in Mass Effect, but anytime someone gave me lip, oh,
They were
oh,
done.
it was over. It was
They're
over.
getting the boot. They're getting the boot.
It was done for him. But yeah, that's 100% how I plan on playing this. But yeah, you mentioned New Game Plus, and that's like so exciting because it's the first time they've ever done it. And so, it being the first time they've ever done it, there's got to be a really good reason why they're doing it. And
There's gotta be something special about it.
I'm
for sure.
hyped to see whatever that is because, and I really think it's to do with powers. I mean, we'll see, but I really think it's to do with powers. And God, dude, we could keep talking about Starfield all night. We got to move on to
Yeah, right.
something
Yeah.
else because this game's gonna be a problem. We're gonna be doing this next week, even worse
Well,
next week.
Yeah.
we're gonna be talking about the game, like our thoughts. On
Oh,
it.
dude, the whole podcast next week will be Starfield. So we gotta
100%.
move on to the next topic here, which is actually Baldur's Gate 3 getting an exception for parity on Xbox consoles.
Oh, that's a big, yeah, that's a big one.
That's very big. It was announced earlier this summer that Baldur's Gate 3 was going to be pushed back on Xbox due to needing more time to work on split screen for Xbox Series S. But during last week's Gamescom showcases and interviews, news came out stating that Baldur's Gate 3 will be releasing this year on Xbox, and they will be dropping split screen from Series S for now to make the end of the year deadline. Considering the fact that the Xbox Series X will feature split screen play for Baldur's Gate 3, this marks the first game to ditch complete console parity between Series X and Series X, Series X and Series X, Series X and Series S. Xbox did, however, announce that they will continue working with Larian on bringing split screen to Series S, but it's not the primary focus right now. This is big news, and I want to pass this off to you guys because I want to ask, first of all, do you think this is something, like, do you think this is just an exception for Baldur's Gate 3, or do you think this is something they'll probably start doing a little bit more of?
I feel like it was only a matter of time, personally, because especially with like the lower RAM, I think the Series S has, and it's just a lot of things that the GPU I think is a bit weaker as well. And,
The GPU is definitely weaker, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just I think it was just a matter of time something like this was gonna happen, especially with something with split screen. Like split screens has always been a taxing thing for any console, so it makes sense why that would give them issues. But I don't know. I feel like they had to make it clear, like especially when you're buying the game, like oh yeah, by the way, in Series S it doesn't have a split screen. As long as they make that clear, I feel like it should be okay. Yeah, or even on like a game box or like buying a physical copy or something like that. But I feel like it was a smart thing to do because it is important to get these games out as fast as possible. And yeah, it's just not fair. I feel like to have to have people that have a Series X wait because they got optimized for the Series S. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's I don't know. It's a little bit of a sticky situation that they're in when it comes to the Series S and the parity that they had to have between them. Like, did they ever promise? Oh, sorry, you're gonna say something?
No, I was going to say, so you think it's something that is, like, this is just the first of what's
Yeah,
to be
possibly.
expected?
Yeah. Honestly, like I was kind of expecting something, like, especially when they clearly stated that split screen was the issue. Like I was like, I don't know, I was kind of expecting them to possibly work on it, especially with how well this game is being received. I think it was kind of the but I do think it's the right thing to do, though. I do think it was the right call to make.
Yeah, that's another question I have for you guys. But Mike, do you think that this is something that is just a one-off, or do you think it's something we'll see more often as the generation goes on?
Sorry, something just came up and it just completely took my attention away. Sorry. What was the question?
The Series S and Series X parity, and dropping it for Baldur's Gate.
I really maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. So what just came up is completely railed me. I think there will be things that have to skip the Series S. It just doesn't have enough of what certain developers need, and just saying better optimize your games isn't 100% fair. But yeah, I think we'll see it again at some point.
But I don't think we'll get to the point where games completely skip the Series S, but they'll be missing certain features, or they can't do split screen here, or they can't do this mode this here. I feel like there'll just be some parts like that, which I don't know. As a Series S owner, how does that make you feel personally?
Well, Ham's one too, and I mean,
true, yeah.
for me, I have a Series X.
Yeah.
What was that? What did I just hear? Who farted? What was that? What?
Oh, sorry. I didn't think you.
Oh my god.
Oh, God bless you, Twan. Oh shit! But yeah, for me, I have a Series X, so it doesn't really affect me. I mean, I guess if I had a Series S, I'd be a little bummed. But here's the thing: I haven't seen anybody with only a Series S complaining. I've only seen people complaining for them. Like no one's.
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
just don't know who's dying. I'm sure there are like people dying to do it, but I don't know who's dying to play split screen on Baldur's Gate
Mhm,
on console. I just
mhm.
I don't know who that is, and I'm sure they exist, and it sucks for them if they're on a Series S. But honestly, the game's too big. You need to get it out. I don't really.
Yeah.
It doesn't really bother me. But I wanted to hand it off to Ham because you
But
also. Was that?
But the thing is, I feel like when you're buying a console with like that's much cheaper than the uh the Series X, I feel like you should expect some things to be dropped later on. Like I feel like there should have been some exceptions where it's like okay, I might not get everything that this console's getting, but it will be somewhat close. But like obviously not, I'm going to be missing out probably. So I feel like
Yeah.
there should have been some sort of expectation when getting a Series S. But I don't know. That's just me though.
Yeah. Ham, what about you, bud? Since you also own a Series S, does this upset you a whole lot?
Uh, I mean, I'm gonna sound a little selfish. This doesn't bother me, and neither does Forza.
Yeah.
All
Like,
about the Forza not having
just
split screen.
Yep.
yeah, like none of this
Yeah.
split screen stuff bothers me as much as it did back when I was like in like college, or
Hmm.
just like after that, like when like my funds were low and I wanted to buy a game and be able to play it with other people if it was a multiplayer or whatnot. But I feel like I feel like the days of expecting that are gone, and it's more like, oh man, it's really cool if it's if it's there. If it's not, it's
Yeah, it's more of like, wow, this
never.
game actually does have split screen. It's like a more of like a wow, it's cool, it has it. Like I almost don't expect them to
Right.
have split screen these days. You know, so
Yeah, for sure. But as for the whole Series S, like, will this be normal or whatnot? I don't think it's going to be normal. I think this is a very special situation where a game is literally in the high 90s,
hmm
th- and they want to get like as much money as possible. They don't want to be the odd man out.
Yeah.
I don't think they would have did something like this for Atlas Fall, or for like really very many games at all that are that are whether it's single player or multiplayer. Like I just don't think Xbox is just gonna bend the knee every which way because of this specific situation with people that are already known to be like more PC developers than
Yeah.
console developers. So I think this is kind of a one-off, but I do not think that excludes Xbox in the future in any way, shape, or form. I think this could very well happen again, but I think it is not going to be as frequent as people are pretending it is going to be, or something like that.
I
There
agree
ain't
with
no
that.
way Xbox is going to just all of a sudden just say, "Oh, okay, these guys did it," and I don't think developers are also thinking that Xbox is just going to say screw the S now at all. I think part of the answer is also how long is this console cycle going to be?
Yep.
That's
hmm
also a big part of this answer, because if it's only another like 3 years, then the Series S is probably fine. If it's another
Yeah.
6 years, then we probably got a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, it's a big difference. People are earlier in the generation. A lot of people were saying this is going to be the longest generation that we've had for a long time.
hmm
And
Yeah,
then
dude.
now we're here where people are talking about pro consoles and stuff like that. But at the same time, we're talking about pro consoles as if they're going to somehow catch up to a 4090, when that's just not
Yeah,
going to happen.
Not
Like
for a
I
very
feel like
long
people,
time.
especially at
I
an
feel like
affordable
some
price.
people are right. And I feel like people are taking this, oh, the pro version will just come out, as if like they can just shove something in there and just make it run so much better. Like you're gonna get 120 like off rip. or something when these PCs can't even do that kind of stuff. Like
124K with ray tracing. You know what I'm saying?
Like you're not gonna like you may get ray tracing, but you're gonna get a lot more 30 FPS games.
Yep. 100%.
And even with a pro version of a console, unless it's upwards of $1,200, it's not gonna be something that just all of a sudden can run Immortals of Avium at fucking 4K 60 perfectly without upscaling.
Yeah. Oh my god. Speaking of Mortals of Avium, did you see the resolutions for that from Digital
720.
Foundry? 720 and
720.
496p on the Series X.
Tragic. I watched a little bit of Maurice, and he was just like, "Bro, that's not supposed to look like that." And he was like, pointing in the, he was pointing in like the where like the smoke is kind of supposed to be, and it was all like a bunch of boxes,
bunch of blocks.
Was,
Dude, his video was great.
It was hilarious. I mean, don't get me wrong, it still looked good from like standing back.
Yeah, sure.
Kind of thing. But once you started to look at like the fine detail on the screen, you're just like, yo, this is a mess. Like this ain't supposed to be this muddy.
That's the Unreal Engine 5 hidden.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, that shit's like so bad on the Series S from what I've heard.
Dude, that actually tops I think up to this point, I could be wrong, but of the games that I have general interest in, it's the lowest resolution I've seen.
I'm pretty sure some Dreamcast games run at a higher resolution.
They might. They might. We're very close to it, at least 480. I mean,
yeah. Native.
Exactly. Like, I remember Metro Exodus. It was like a huge deal that Metro Exodus, granted, Metro Exodus is doing like 60 FPS, ray tracing, everything. Kind of like Immortals of Avium because they're doing ray tracing as well. But Metro Exodus came out and it was like the lowest resolution you got. The lowest resolution they saw, Digital Foundry, was like 590p or something on the Series S. Immortals of Avium was hitting like 480p. And I'm just like, oh, I don't know. I just don't know about Unreal Engine 5. I know, Mike, you talked about this last week a little bit, but I really don't know about Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah, me neither. We should be working on performance for games while looking good rather than just, I don't know, trying to simulate real life to the absolute, point of where shit don't work.
Exactly.
I think that's on the devs though. I don't think that's on Unreal.
Yeah.
Because because as me and Mike were talking about the other time, is like they're building this engine for the future. So it's to me it's fine. So to me, Unreal Engine's fine. Our hardware isn't.
Sure.
So like I feel like now that we see what Unreal Engine 5 is, it's like I'm not sure if I want to open up the closet. That monster is looking crazy.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just like I'm gonna open up this closet with Unreal Engine 4 or something like that. And I mean Unreal Engine 4 even has its issues or whatnot, but I see what you guys are alluding to, which is like, dude, like if you know how to use something else really good, stop fucking with this new shit that you don't know what you're doing with right now. Exactly. Not saying that they don't know what they're doing. The developers know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. But what we come to or want to see is a smooth running game, running at running the best that it can, and not saying, okay, well, we're gonna make this super duper tough. We're gonna make this freaking Dodge Viper and we're gonna put all of the nice stuff in it. Yeah. But putting all of that nice stuff in it, the entire interior stripped out and you don't even have a seat to sit on. And it's like, wow, this is really uncomfortable. This is like, how am I gonna ride in this super nice car? Like, I can't even
Like
invite a
standing
woman
up.
in here. Like, this is terrible. Like it looks great all on the outside, but on the inside, it's like fucking tragic. Like, I just don't want to get in.
and see, that's why I say the engine as opposed to because like it's a new thing. As long as it's new, there's going to be problems with it, and I feel like that's just where we're at. Kind of to what you're saying, it's like I think the engine in time will be great. It'll be fine. It'll be what we expect it to be, and it'll
On
be doing it
PS7.
much more performant. But right now, it's new, and it just seems like everybody wants to jump on the new thing. And as they're jumping on, it seems like they're all just finding out, holy shit, this is not okay. Because, like, there's only a handful of developers that I know can do Unreal Engine. One of them only makes Fortnite. That's the only game you're ever gonna get from Epic again. They're like the creators of Unreal Engine. You're only gonna get Fortnite from them again. Coalition with Gears. We'll see about Hellblade with Ninja Theory, but I would imagine they're probably doing some back and forth with Coalition, so I would assume they'll be fine. I don't think anybody really uses it for PlayStation. Maybe I'm wrong. I think no. Days Gone did. Ben Studio did. They used Unreal 4. But I mean, when they released that game, it was in shambles. It looked really good, but it was in shambles when it released. So it's like there's not many studios who know Unreal Engine, yet it's so widely perceived as the most popular, the most used engine. And I feel like it's gonna take a good long while before we're at a spot where it's hitting on all cylinders, because right now it is not hitting on all cylinders. Oh man. But oh yeah. So to end the discussion on Baldur's Gate 3 console parity, did anybody not go on that? I guess I didn't give my take on whether or not I think it'll be a thing going forward. I don't think this will be a thing going forward, or at least not too often. And I don't see really a future where games entirely skip the Series S. As long as, it's 2023, we're done with this generation by 2026, like Cam said. I feel like the Series S will be fine. I feel like this is one of those rare exceptions where it's like Microsoft saw the reviews, saw the praise, saw the hype for this game, and they're like, okay, we can't not have that this year. And so
they kind of just bent the knee with it, yeah.
Exactly. And Ham brought up a great point of like, if Atlas Fallen did this, I don't think it would bother Microsoft too much. I don't think they would
this could be an
sweating.
issue because, for example, with Forza Motorsport, right? How they're not having the split screen at launch. You think this could potentially be because of the Series S, and they wanted to make more parity with with the Xbox, with the Series X and the Series S, and they're like, oh fuck, we can't get to work on the split screen on the Series S, but we'll just delay it on the Series X as well, just to make things look better. You think that's a possibility? Maybe.
Well, if we're to believe what they said, or what Phil Spencer said during his interview, which it is Phil Spencer. He could be sticking up for us, but like he said outwardly that they're two entirely different issues. Where Larian is having issues getting it running on the Series S, that isn't the case. Like it's not a Series S issue for Motorsport.
Well, I think the way he worded it was like it's not their priority. Like they're
the issue isn't that it can't be put on there. It's just they're not focused on that for either console right now. They're focused on a bunch of other things. So I don't think it's something really to worry about. I also, like I said, don't think it's something we'll see too often.
As well, right? But it is something
that's
going to become in the future for Forza Motorsport, where they are going to add split screen later. I'm pretty sure, right?
Well, see, that's something interesting to bring up, because they said the same thing about Halo. So whenever
well-
they say it's not there at launch, as far as I'm concerned, it's canceled until they tell me otherwise.
That's
And
true.
that's just something that they kind of earned with Halo's like messaging and everything, where there's a bunch of things that weren't there at launch. One of them being split screen co-op, and they just canceled it. They said it's not gonna happen. Even though multiple times before the release of Halo, they said it'll be there. We promise. We're not making that mistake again. Well, they made the mistake again. So we'll see with Forza, but I think it'll be there. I would like to hear them confirm it before I really get excited. And either way, I don't really care about split screen, so I'm not excited either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't really care too much about it.
No, I'm not. I don't think about playing Forza split screen. And even more so with Baldur's Gate. Even then, I don't even know if I'm gonna get Baldur's Gate. But if I did, I wouldn't even care about playing that split screen. To be honest with you, I could care less about it. But does anybody else have anything?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Ham. What's up?
Oh my goodness.
What happened?
I don't know if you noticed, my computer restarted right there.
Really?
it
Oh
did.
my
I just
god.
you were still in here. I just thought you were quiet. Thought you were letting me
Yeah.
cook.
Oh, nice.
Oh man, yeah.
I thought you were just
Yeah,
letting
it
me
was
cook.
so hot I had to
So-
get out the kitchen, apparently.
So what was the last thing they even heard us talking about?
Oh,
Or everything?
I don't remember.
It doesn't matter. Does anybody else have?
There is one thing I want to bring up.
Yeah.
There is one thing I want to bring up is the fact that Xbox doubled down on not making a pro console of any sort.
Yeah,
You know?
and good on them.
I
'cause,
love that. I love that
Yeah.
they did that. I was
Yes.
so happy to hear that. But I mean, partially because of my wallet, right? Because I just
Yeah.
can't.
Sure. Yeah. Same.
I just can't like stop it. but
Exactly.
second of all, it's because it's just like, to me, it just sets the precedent that they're gonna use their own stuff better and figure it out and yada yada yada. So like, I'm very very much excited for them just to stick with what they got until they're ready to like go into the next generation. Because one thing is that I think people are getting a little too comfortable with is mid-gen refreshes, and people forget that like it's really like people are like, oh, they've been doing mid-gen refreshes, yeah, but
Like,
not
only last
of better,
generation.
not of
Yeah.
pros. They haven't
Yeah.
been doing it for pro consoles. Pro
Yeah.
consoles started last gen. Like
That's
there
the
was
first-
no pro console for the 360 or the PS3 other than their original come out. Like the Elite, sure, but that wasn't
Yeah.
a pro. That
It's
Yeah.
was
still the
just
same
like more
hardware, same
like
base
it was.
hardware,
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
more memory. That's all
Yeah.
it was. That was different than that, and maybe like some sounds or something that the
Yeah.
console itself made. But
Yeah.
but it was really just a special edition console that had more memory. That was really all it was.
Like, the only time I can think in history that we kind of had a pro thing, quote unquote, is maybe like the Sega 32X before that.
Right. Right, but that was that in itself was a but that would be in my opinion something like and see, this is why Sega was so goddamn ahead.
Yeah.
Sega was ahead of their time because I think in today's industry, if you could buy like an external CPU or external GPU for your console, that would be interesting.
100%, yeah.
As long as it's something, I don't know, like regulated but third party, I think that would be pretty cool to be able to add like Nvidia or AMD or Intel products.
Well, obviously, they make it simpler, right? So because it's a console, right? Just plug this in and boom, now you're in the next
Yeah.
generation. You know?
Right. This is optimized for
Simplified,
console
right?
use only. Kind of just like kind of like they did with the SSDs or the HDDs or whatever, like where it's just like this is Seagate in like all this does is memory for the Xbox and you try to use it for something else, it won't work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that would definitely be interesting. Be interesting to see, because I know that exists for like people do that for like laptops. I think they even do that for desktops, which is kind of weird to see. But yeah, that would be one way to, first of all, lessen the cost of having the publisher have to make a whole new console,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to just here's a GPU from a third party. You plug it in if you want. Who God knows what's going to be. It's like some Chinese 4090. It'll cook your Xbox. Dude. But yeah, that would be interesting to see, honestly. And I am glad, like Ham said, I am glad that they
Yeah, me
doubled down
too.
on that, because
Yeah.
I mean, it's an issue of first of all, like, not everybody, myself included, has $500-$600 to just shell out every
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't want a future where that's the thing that just becomes a
Yeah.
norm. I think last generation, it was cool, it was exciting, because the consoles that launched were so dog shit.
Well, not only
Well-
that, but like we're having new TV standards with like 4K and shit like that. That was, like,
Exact
becoming a thing. So,
Exactly. 4K became a thing, which I
Yeah.
think is a huge fucking, it was a huge fucking mistake, because now everybody expects, oh, this game's not, what you mean, this game's not going to run at native 4K 60 FPS on my $500 console? It's like, that's what people expect now. And
Yeah.
people,
My whole thing
no, I was
My
going
whole
to say,
thing is don't put 8K on a box and then tell me you have to
Yes.
upgrade 2 years later. Like,
yes.
don't do that.
Thank you. Because not only 4K 60, you got people expecting 8K. You also got people expecting 4K 120 on their
That's not
$500
happening.
console, and it's like,
Unless you're
I
playing a Sega Genesis game or some shit. I don't know.
yeah, and I can't sit here and blame the person who sees that box, who's not like us and doesn't fucking live and breathe this shit all day every day, and they see that and they're like, oh, well, that's the standard, that's what I expect now. And then they get it and they're like, that's not what they're getting, and then they're a little bit upset. And then now
Yeah.
a pro console comes along that says, hey, we got it right this time.
Yeah, this time it is.
Yeah.
gonna run at 4K.
Yeah, this time we're not lying to you. This time it's gonna do it. And then they get that and they're like, oh, it's
Yeah.
still not doing it.
Yeah, then games are only going to become more complex as time goes on, and then it's eventually, oh yeah, it's 30 frames again. You know, that's just a cycle, right?
Exactly.
Like-
That's like the thing people need to get. It sucks to hear, but and thing is, I hate it too. Where it's like, I was hoping what would happen with this generation. I was hoping it'd be the first generation ever where, instead of making things more complex for the sake of complexity, we would be doing, let's just do the things we do, but up the frame rate.
Yeah.
I was naively thinking, how cool would that be? But like you just said, Twan, the whole cycle is, okay, we got new hardware. This hardware is awesome. This is fantastic.
Just squeeze every last drop, you know.
Exactly, because when the Series X and PS5 launched, they were pretty overpowered for $500. But now that developers just have that power, they're like, let's see what we can do. Immortals of Avium with ray tracing on fucking everything, 460p on the Series S. Let's see what happens. It's like, you don't need to do that. Just make the game look good enough and run smooth. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all I want. I know people want 4K and flashy shit and everything, but that's just me.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm very happy to see that. Was it Phil Spencer who doubled down on that? I think it was in the interview with Phil Spencer.
Yeah, it was really in an interview with Phil Spencer. Yeah.
Yeah.
He said that.
I was ecstatic about that, honestly. But we have one more topic here, and I feel like we can probably zoom through this one, and that is the PlayStation Portal.
Oh, good lord!
I
have to make me
got
laugh
something.
about that.
I got something written down here. Coming. Okay, I got a little bit of a monologue. Coming in at $199, the PlayStation Portal seeks to find an answer to a problem that didn't exist and it goes about doing so in ways that are questionable at best and blatantly anti-consumer at worst. It's entirely remote play. There's not even a cloud aspect to this device. It simply runs what is running on your PS5. This is something that your phone can already do, and on top of that, you can save yourself $100 off of this $200 device and just buy a PlayStation backbone for remote play via your phone, or even better yet, save yourself anywhere from $110 to $150 and grab a Razer Kishi or Kishi V2. Ergonomically, it looks about as stupid as the PS5. Functionality wise, considering that Bluetooth is missing from the device, it's missing key features that just about any modern tablet, not considering the fact that these tablets also cost less than this thing. Instead of opting for regular Bluetooth, Sony has opted for compatibility only with devices that support PlayStation Link. So that Pulse 3D headset that you have is useless with this thing, because the only PlayStation Link compatible devices right now are the new Pulse Elite headset for a low price of $150 and the new PlayStation Explorer wireless earbuds for the absolute bargain of $200. But don't
That's
fret,
crazy.
but don't fret, because slowly but surely PlayStation plans to roll out PlayStation Link to third parties to use in their products. Guys, what are your thoughts on the PSP? What are your thoughts on the PSP?
The PlayStation Portable thing, or
No, the
Portal,
PlayStation, the
whatever it's called.
PSP, the PSP one. We're calling it
PSP's
PSP.
pretty good. PSP's pretty cool.
I
PlayStation
agree.
Portal, that sucks.
So
Like, I don't know, like, I mean, like, the thing, like, at the very least, maybe if it ran Android, that'd be pretty cool, because at least you could, like, run emulators on it or something, but you can't even do that. It's like, fuck, you know?
nope.
But,
I
oh,
mean,
man, it's just like, I don't know who this thing was built for, honestly. Like, honestly, like, if, you know what would have been cool? Like, let's say if they did something like the Wii U, where, let's say some games could take advantage of both screens. Like, let's say you're playing on the PlayStation Portal, and there's a game that takes advantage of that second screen on the on that device, and then let's say you could look up while on your controller you have like a view of the map or something. Like, I feel like something like that could be cool, but that's obviously not going to happen. There's people aren't going to put the effort into supporting something like that in that specific type of way. But other than that, yeah, it's dog shit, honestly. Like, it's like, luckily the price isn't too bad, but it's still way too expensive for what it does, in my
that
opinion.
price is bad.
Yeah, it could be worse. I was expecting worse, but it's still not worth it.
What were you expecting this to cost?
I was thinking maybe, like, I was expecting this possibly like $250. I was thinking. But,
I realistically, like, not even shitting you, I thought 150 was the max on this.
yeah, if 150 would have been fair, but like, even 200 is still like, it's still pretty bad. But like, I feel like it's lower than I was expecting. I was expecting Sony to make this like a premium thing or some shit, you know. But
Well, they seemingly have.
yeah,
Or they're trying to.
Mhm.
We'll say that. But keep going. Sorry, bud. Cut you off.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's yeah, I mean, honestly, if I find one for $20, I might pick it up. But I don't think I'm gonna. Maybe $40. $40, I'll think about it. But yeah, $200, yeah, no, not a chance. It's
Might
not
I
happening.
suggest a Razer Kishi for $50, Twan?
But I mean, it's just cool to have it for the collection. But like, I'm not gonna spend $200
It's not.
for it.
That thing's a fucking joke.
There you go, Mike. Let off some bars, bud.
I'm sorry, just a real whirlwind that this came out of nowhere, and I'm just trying to process that.
All right.
That thing is just stupid. The fact that, not even just the fact it's a streaming only or a remote play device, which is ridiculous that it's remote play only.
Yeah.
It's the fact it doesn't even do cloud gaming, not even like their PlayStation premium levels of cloud gaming. The only way you could do that is if you stream your PlayStation to your device and then stream it from there. So it's latency upon latency.
Yeah.
I feel like this thing doesn't have enough native features to be like worth it. Like, I don't think necessarily like this having like a cloud only device is the worst thing in the world. I personally don't want it. But the fact it has no native at hand features, like there's nothing you can download locally. You can't download videos. You can't do this. You can't download local games like PSP games. That'd be dope. That would be insane if they got that working.
Yeah.
But it just kind of seems like a piece of tech that is way more than usual tied to a console. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel unique. Like
Exactly. Put it in perspective to what PlayStation used to do, where I believe the PSP had it as well when the PS3 launched and they added it. But PS Vita had remote play for the PS4, but it wasn't just remote play.
yeah, exactly. It's I don't know, man. The fact you have to use like unless you use like the actual headphone jack,
Which is insane.
the fact you have to use the proprietary headsets for a wireless experience is pretty ridiculous to me. Like I just can't find
But
the
Mike,
value.
they're doing that because they're prioritizing ultra low latency, Mike. They're doing it for your benefit.
I don't know, man. This whole thing just stinks. I'd rather just anything else, anything
Yeah.
else to get a good experience with playing PlayStation games on the go or in the other room or whatever the fuck. I don't know. This really just sucks. That's my take on it.
That's a pretty solid take. Ham, what do you think? How do you feel about the PlayStation Portal?
I think it's really a really silly accessory that I feel like gets me irritated whenever I hear somebody say PSP, because I feel like that's like disrespecting the PSP, the real one.
Yeah,
It
I know,
kind of
right?
is.
Fuck.
Kind of is.
Like that literally gets on my nerves. Like it shouldn't, but it does, because because the thing is when you recreate something for the future, that's the last thing people remember.
Yeah.
So like now we're calling that the PSP, and I know it's technically the Portal, not the Portable, which is extra silly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that kind of bothers me because it does everything but what I want it to do.
Yeah.
Like like it has to be connected remote play, which is one strike. I can't connect any other devices to it unless it's PlayStation. That's
kind of blows.
that stinks. Like
Something
if
I'm
you're
really
supposed to be
curious-
on the
sorry, continue on.
you're supposed to be on the go in any form. I just think it stinks. Like say you spend $200 extra for those headphones or whatnot, and you leave them at home on your trip, and like you have copious amounts of Bluetooth devices. Hell, you can go to the fucking
My
gas
PS Vita
station
did
and buy
Bluetooth.
a Bluetooth headset device.
Ugh.
And you can't do that with that thing. And to me, that's just like Marcus Brownlee said. It's so anti-consumer. Like
Yeah.
that just doesn't make any sense to me. And then I haven't really seen this thing get used without being like 10 feet away from the PS5, which to me is very, very much a red flag.
Yeah.
Like I think if I was bringing out a product and I was wanting to market it and have it be as cool or like as interesting as possible, I'd maybe like I don't know how hard or easy this is, but maybe I'd make like a marketing deal with like Hardee's or McDonald's or something like that, and just have somebody playing the game in a public space and just seeing how it works.
It'll be
And
nice
then
to see.
I mean, because they're talking about all you need is like 15 megabits per second for this to run fairly well. Well, if that's true, let me see.
Yeah,
Put it somewhere
definitely.
where that makes sense, and then like I don't know, just do something that makes this thing stand out, because to me, it's just niche on top of niche on top of niche. And then, as Mike was saying just a little bit ago, like your subscription that you're paying for, you can't even play all the games on
Hmm.
it. It just doesn't make, like, this thing doesn't make any sense. And then to be $200, I mean, that's, to me, that's not the worst price point for something like that. But for the lack of third party adaptation to it, I feel like it makes it bad. Because I think this thing could be pretty cool if, you know, there was some third party aspect to it, whether it's the headphones or I don't know, something as silly as like a dock, or like whatever. Like I think it'd be pretty cool if you could dock this thing and put it on somebody else's TV.
Yeah.
If that
be
was
bad.
a feature added to it and it was running off of your PlayStation from home but on their Wi-Fi, I think that would be a pretty cool excuse me, thing to add to something like that. But to me, I just don't think it's versatile enough for the price tag that's on it.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not interested. And it doesn't even look that nice. Like, it's just literally a PS5 controller cut in half with a screen in the middle. Like, to me, the cool, crazy thing about the PlayStation handhelds were partially the look of them and how they just looked just different. They look different than a Game Boy. They didn't look like the controller though that was at home.
Yeah.
You know, and I get it. In a sense, they want it to be comfortable to play, right? So if you have a controller that's a PS5, you're going to be very used to the buttons and everything on that. Because I do know that on those small handhelds, sometimes your hands get really cramped or
Sure.
whatnot on it. I just thought the creativity of that was just tragic.
Yeah,
Because it's just like the most basic controller. Like, they didn't even put any color or anything to it. It's just a white ass basic controller that you can get at the store, and it looks like it literally looks like just some makeshift thing that you would see like Adam Savage or some random YouTuber make. It doesn't look like this came from Sony, if that makes sense.
It does. It does make sense. Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
it's just weird.
it's,
But there's
you
something I
think,
want to bring up as well. The fact that
Yeah.
it is the DualSense controller just split in half is, you know, the battery life on those controls by themselves aren't very good, right? Now you slap a screen on that, you know, how
it even
long
better.
is the Yeah, how long is the battery gonna last on this thing?
Well, they
They
say
actually
it's
said as long as a DualSense controller actually lasts.
Yeah.
So, and in a sense, that's not terrible.
But like, I don't know, I
Because
feel like a
handhelds are
DualSense
usually pretty
lasts-
short.
I feel like a DualSense would usually last like 5 to 6 hours, if that.
Which
That's
is pretty
what-
good for a handheld.
That's what they're saying this will do. Is it'll last as long as the DualSense does.
All right, if they
My
say
problem
that,
is it doesn't have a. My problem is it doesn't really have a. Really anything else. So like, it feels like maybe they should have doubled down on that at least to make it crazy long. I don't know.
Yeah. I just think of like the PSP and the PS Vita were also devices that looked like they could fit in your pocket. This is, I mean, I guess at least they're not calling it portable, because this really isn't a portable
Yeah.
device. This is something made for you to play in your house next to your PS5 or maybe in the other room or something. But this
Yeah,
is
like
not a
I've never.
portable device.
Yeah, like from everything I've seen, people playing on this thing, there's always been like a PS5
Oh
in
shit.
the background when I see them playing on it. You know. So
Right. No, I heard. I know what you're saying.
But,
The PS5 always in the back, and yeah, and that's exactly what I'm
yeah,
saying.
like
Like, there's not.
it's like
They're
in
not
the
10
shot.
feet away from it.
It's like-
Yep.
Like, in their whole big gimmick for it is, and because that's exactly what I think it is. I think it's a gimmick. I think this whole like specific PlayStation Link thing is kind of like a gimmick. Is it a bad thing that it's a very singular line instead of having all these Bluetooth different things that it could possibly pick up? Sure, that could be a good thing, but like I felt like it was weird that they then integrated it with, well, this is gonna be your headphones too. That's what I didn't really like. But on top of that PlayStation Link thing that I think is kind of a gimmick, I've yet to see this really get or even get remotely tested out at all. Like Twan just got done saying, they're right. Every single review, they're in the same room as the console, and I'm just like, yo, like I know if it was me and I was willing to spend $200 on that, that's because I'm playing it in bed
yeah.
Yeah.
or something like that. I'm playing it in bed in another room. Like I'm downstairs. The woman wants to watch some crazy movie, and I'm mentally upstairs playing the PS5 with this handheld down here. You know what I mean? Or I'm on the swing out in the front porch or next to the fire pit out in the backyard. Like, give me that. Let me see what that looks like. Let me see
Yeah.
what somebody laying in a hammock playing that thing looks like. Not in the front room with the console. Like, to me, I'm sorry, but like, who doesn't have multiple TVs in their house where the wife isn't going to just go into? Because obviously, if you're not engaged with your wife watching a show, the fuck are you sitting there for?
Yep.
How many people that are willing to buy a $500 console only have one whole ass TV in their house?
It's a good question to ask. I mean,
Seriously.
I just don't get it, man. It's like it's whenever this thing was announced or like rumored.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping it wasn't true because it's just
Yeah.
such a tone deaf, like
Yeah,
product to make.
that was my thought. I was like, well, obviously this either isn't true or they're missing like a bunch of key details because
Mhm.
the item that they're talking about is completely useless.
Yeah.
Like it's actually useless, and you can do it already on your phone, and it costs less just by a Razer Kishi, or by any like third party device. It doesn't need to be Razer, because any third party controller that straps to your phone, or just buy a strap, like literally just a little strap for your phone, and then attach your PlayStation controller to it. I mean, there's so many different options. This doesn't need to exist. I I really don't know what else you can say about this thing, other than that it just seriously doesn't need to exist, and it kind of kind of makes me a little weary of what Jim Ryan is doing over at PlayStation. Because if this is something that goes all the way through to the top, then I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing at that point? But I don't know. Maybe they know more than we do, and I'm sure they got the numbers to back up why this thing is a great idea. Maybe it sells great. Who knows? But time will tell. But as for that, that's the end of the show. Unless anybody else has anything they want to add to the show before we get out.
There is one thing I wanted to bring up about how because back to the whole pro console thing, right? Like especially if Xbox released a pro console, I feel like that just put the Series S in even a worse spot, in my opinion. You know, because now you have these three consoles that you got to worry about, and I don't know if anyone else feels that way. If there was like a third console that they released.
I'm sorry, what was the thing?
I'm saying I'm going back to the whole pro console thing with the Xbox.
Yeah.
With how I'm just saying, I feel like them releasing a pro console or an Xbox Series One X, whatever the fuck they call it. Like I feel like that would put the Series S in even in a more awkward spot. Having because they'd push that console, then they had two lower tiers, and I feel like it would just complicate things even more because they got optimized for like 3 consoles. So I just feel like it'd just be a mess personally. So I just
Yeah.
Well,
I,
me
yeah.
and Matt were talking about this like just under a month ago, and it's
Yeah.
just like you're gonna make a pro. If Xbox is gonna make a pro console, more than likely Starfield's still gonna be 30 FPS.
exactly.
Like what are we
biggest
doing?
game. Your biggest game will still be running at the same resolution with the
Hmm.
same frame rate. Nothing's going to change because that thing is going to kill the CPU. So,
Yeah.
and then like you said, it doesn't. Them having a Series S just means I just can't see them having a pro console. They basically opted out of that when they made the
Yeah.
Series S.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I'm saying.
Uh,
It's just
But
it'll
yeah.
just be a messy situation. But I don't know, man. Are you still are you confident PlayStation actually making one though?
Yeah, I
How
think they
confident
will.
are you in
I think it makes
Yeah.
sense for them because they don't have a lower SKU console. I think it makes sense for them.
Sure, yeah.
They're already doing price cuts and everything. Well, price cuts sales on the PS5s very regularly. So it's like they're getting ready for the slim model, and then I would imagine they're also getting ready for that pro console that everybody's been talking about.
But even with the PlayStation 5, like I don't like I can see them making things to make what's available now maybe more easy to run, but I don't see them making something that's just gonna rival like or really change a game like Immortals of Aveum, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Like I
Yeah.
like I just don't see like
That big
although
of a change, like
yeah, that's kind of what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like
yeah.
I, I I think it's necessary for the PlayStation 5 to do it if they see it fit.
Mm-hmm.
If they chose not to do one, it wouldn't bother me.
Yeah.
If they chose to do one, still doesn't really bother me because I'm waiting to see what that version can do that this one that you put like we just got done talking about. You put 8K on this box.
Yeah.
Nobody told you to do that. You did that. So if you put out this pro, there's gonna if there's anything that runs better, you're gonna have some explaining to do
Mm-hmm.
as to why it runs better because everyone's already I mean you already use the whole Kraken SSD. This is faster.
Mm-hmm.
You put 8K on your box. You upgraded the PS5 to be able to do 120. You gave it the ability to do VRR. Like, I need to know what the hell is really being upgraded here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is
It's like, oh, it could really
is the
8K this
VRR
time.
going to be native?
Yeah.
You know, is the VRR going to be native this time? Is the 1440p going to be native this time? Is like if they say that kind of stuff, then I'll understand it. To me, it won't justify a $600 purchase for a pro or something like that, or $500 or whatever. To me, it wouldn't justify me to get a whole new PlayStation console. Exactly,
Mhm.
they'd have to tell me something wild
Yeah.
for it to own for me to be like, you know what, this PS5 isn't enough. It'd have to tell me something wild. It already hooks up to the to the what is it called, the VR. I mean, it does literally. I I don't know what it does. To me, the thing that would make me just say, all right, I'm selling this PS5 and upgrading is if I could grab a PS2 game and throw it in the console.
Oh, that'd be very nice.
Yeah.
It'd be like,
That's what
fuck
would
it, we
make
put in
me
a
be
salt
like,
processor, you know.
right. So yeah, grab a PS2, a PS3, a PS1, a PS4, or a 5. You know what I'm saying? Like if I can grab any of those discs and throw it in the console,
Oh, that'd be fucking
now
amazing.
we're cooking.
Yeah.
We are
Yeah.
cooking. And I am like, what did I say about Pro? I didn't mean it. You know what I'm saying? Like I am backtracking with pride. Like I don't give a damn. Like that's
Yeah,
a fantastic feature, but as I said, I don't know what they can bring that will improve in today's kind
Yeah.
of types of games. That
Yeah,
would
it's
be
just
like
on
jaw
the box.
dropping.
It'd just be like AK, but we mean it this time. You know, it's like
Right.
I don't know. You know, it's like
We promise. Oh man. But yeah, I don't. I just
Another
don't think
PSP, the
Xbox.
PlayStation Promise.
The PlayStation Promise Edition. AK-120. They fuck up and put AK-120 on the box next time. Oh god. But yeah, I don't think Xbox will be doing it. I do think PlayStation will be doing it. I'm not interested.
Yeah, like I
Like-
feel like I barely tapped into what the PS5 itself could do. Let alone
Exactly.
getting a brand new console. You know, it's like I'm not ready for a new console. I don't know what this one could do yet. You know, like I don't know.
Exactly. Oh no! Plus, like, yeah. Well, I'm not gonna go no, but yeah, I just I'm not getting a PS5 Pro.
Yeah.
I'll get a PS6 whenever that comes out. But as for a
Exactly,
Pro console,
yeah.
I
Fuck
don't.
yeah,
I don't
I'm
care.
down for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care about these Pro consoles. But yeah, that brings us to the end of our show. We can head into the outros. We're gonna start with you, Twan. Where can they find you,
Mhm.
bud?
You can find me here on the show every Sunday, or at least Sundays we do the show. You can find me on Twitter or X, wherever you want to call it, at It's Me Twan. Don't worry, I haven't given up on making any YouTube videos, so expect that in
Running
the
out of time.
future.
You're running out of time, but
Don't worry, man. I got a couple months. I'm good.
you got a couple months to get like 10K subscribers.
It's gonna happen.
It-
Alright.
Yeah, it might. It might.
I guess is Mike deafened right now? Like
Yeah, Mike said he'll be back in a little bit. I'm gonna
We'll probably have to skip
outro him
for the
for him.
outro.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
outro him for him.
Yeah.
But
All right,
oh,
well, I'm done though.
oh,
I'm
you're done.
so,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you all know where you can find
Yeah.
Mike. Mike is on Twitter at Hard Days Mike. Sometimes he streams on Twitch under the same name, but he's usually streaming here on the Game Drain whenever he feels like it. So look forward to that. That's where you can find Mike. Let's hand it off to Ham now.
Yep, you can find me here on the Sundays, like Twan said, or you can find me on my channel, TSWS Gaming. I do shows throughout the week on that channel. K Mega's out of town, so we're not going to be probably doing shows on Mondays as of right now until he gets back. I'm just going to use that time as kind of a break instead of just trying to bring somebody on to do something. I'm just going to kind of use it as screw it, break. But on Wednesdays, you can find me on Matt Likes Games channel, which he'll talk about here in just a little bit.
Sure
But
will.
as for this week on my main channel, TSWS Gaming, I'll be having Lord Chris on, aka Chris Jones. He writes for lordsofgaming.net, the Iron Lords podcast. He writes for those guys, so should be a pretty interesting show. The unfortunate part about the show is that it literally goes live right when Starfield comes out. So
Let's go.
either if you want to watch the show right when Starfield, if you do not have the early edition to come into Starfield, you are more than welcome to come check out the show. If you do have the early edition of Starfield, you can definitely check out the show. Leave it on in the background. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I'll have it on the background,
that'd be
bud.
pretty cool. Just leave it on in the background. Let that sucker run. If you got something to say, go on ahead and say it. But I don't blame you or whatnot if you can't specifically be in the chat and be active or something like that. But you can still find a way to support your boy stuff. You know,
Definitely.
it is what it is, though. You know. I gotta do what I gotta do, and then right after that, yeah, I mean, Matt's gonna be busy too. He's gonna be making his video, so I mean, I
sure
don't
am.
feel completely terrible. I'll still have that start screen rolling. I'd be looking up. People are gonna be like, "Why are you? Yeah, I'm missing questions and shit like that."
It's
Like I
gonna,
like it's good.
it's gonna
It's
be
gonna be a
rough.
messy show. It's gonna be rough, bro. It's gonna be rough. Oh man,
so close.
but yeah, that's where you can find me. Your boy Ham
Nice.
Solo with the longest outros of all time. Go.
You're all right, man. As for myself, you can find me on Twitter at Matt Likes Games. You can find me on YouTube, Matt Likes Games, videos every Monday and Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern, and then on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern, I do the two-player podcast with Ham Solo. That's a pretty new podcast that me and him started over there on my channel. So you can check that out every week as well as my videos, and that's where you can find me. But with that being said, I think we can head up out of here. We will see you all next week. Thank you for watching.
Bye.